Hello, welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together we are working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts have ever seen.
Today, we are talking about She's the Man as the first entry in our Shakespeare Adaptations Month.
Yeah! I was low-key obsessed with this movie for a little while in the aughts. It's a very odd movie.
Oh, so much. The low-rise jeans.
Yep.
The Channing Tatum.
Yep.
The gay panic.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All of that stuff. So
very
fun.
Early 2000s, yes.
So if you haven't seen this, I think it's 2006. I should have looked.
2006.
It's a adaptation of Twelfth Night, starring Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum, but modernized with soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And so her soccer team gets cut, and so she goes to her twins' other school and pretends to be him so that she can play on the boys' soccer team. And Channing helps her, and they fall in love. And there's lots of trans erasure and gay panic and just random stuff, but also some really funny stuff. And
yeah, like the good parts are really good, and then everything else is everything else. Yeah, it. I don't know. We'll get to some of the.
We'll get there.
issues,
Don't
I
worry,
guess.
guys. We will get there.
We'll get there.
But the first observation I have is how did the casting people think that these two people would be able to play each other as twins?
Like
as the
they
same
both
person?
have. Well, they looked similar enough to be twins.
Yeah,
I
think
like,
so. Yeah,
like or siblings. Yeah, like they have kind of a similar like round shaped face. They both had like similar hair color. Yeah, like the sibling part of it worked, but yeah, like for her to fool people, I guess the people she was trying to fool at the onset were people who had never met Sebastian.
Yeah, that part's true, and then
so
that is fine. It's really towards the end where, well, not even the end, like at the pizza parlor, Monique is like, "Oh, you're Sebastian," even though you're 6 inches shorter than you normally are.
But she's shown at the very beginning, like in almost the first scene when she's coming home after the soccer gets cut, to assume that Viola is Sebastian from behind.
Yeah, so she's just really dumb.
She's very unobservant.
Yeah.
She definitely is the ditzy blonde cliche.
Yeah, ditzy blonde cliche,
yeah.
Yeah, and then more so towards the end of people getting them confused. But the main thing is that Sebastian, actual Sebastian, fits into Viola's soccer uniform.
Yeah, that was weird. And also he fits into, like, they trade clothes at the very end, and he fits into her clothes, which
no, just
like Amanda Bynes is a
teeny
tiny actress.
Girl. Yeah,
teeny tiny. Personally, I think one of the main reasons that I loved this movie, other than the Channing Tatum of it all, is it's filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah, our first one.
Yeah, so fun. There's so many places. Like, at the very beginning when they're all playing soccer on the beach, they're at Jericho Beach, which is like one of the huge, big sandy beaches, sort of near-ish to downtown, but not right downtown. They must have been so cold.
I know. Like, there's no way it wasn't like March or maybe April. I was trying to look at the trees, so sometime in spring, but
yeah, it was definitely spring. It wasn't summer.
No, I'm pretty sure also that the sky was CG.
The sky was very the sky could have been like well, they can do a lot with lighting, so yeah, like they could have been filming it at night in April and it could have been like 10 degrees or less Celsius. Like they must, and she's wearing short shorts and a bikini top, and like landing in the sand, which would be so cold. Oh man, and so scratchy on that skimpy bikini top. Yeah. And then lots of the soccer scenes are done at like the UBC, like the university stadium, and one of the old schools in the city, like I think one of the oldest high schools, Point Grey, is the public school that she starts at, and then the fancy school that she goes to, Illyria, is like a performing arts like civic center in Burnaby, the Shadbolt. So that was cool. Was there any? I don't think there was any like super famous Vancouver-y stuff if you're not really from here, but
no, I don't think so. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that I just wonder about, like the end scene with the garden, but I'm like, that could be any botanical garden anywhere. So it's probably just near where they ended up shooting the finale, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't immediately stand out. It could have also just been like the house that they filmed at. Is like it's like the John H. Macdonald House in New Westminster, which I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's like a heritage home or something,
probably
in New West. So it could have a big garden. Yeah, they don't list any gardens. It could also just be like the like outdoor space near the Shadbolt, something like that.
Yeah, Shadbolt's pretty woodsy. So yeah, it's always fun. I like that because one of the schools I would see every time I went on the SkyTrain to work, and I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, so yeah, our first Vancouver, but definitely not our last.
No.
Okay, so my big thing was, so she was at a public school, I assume.
Yeah.
Or, maybe it was a different private school. I don't know. And then he was getting sent to this private school, but when she gets to the private school, I'm pretty sure there were girls there.
Yeah, there were girls there because.
So why didn't she go there too?
He got kicked out of the other school.
Oh, okay. So his parents had to send him to the private school because he got kicked out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
but like in that case, why doesn't she go to her parents who obviously can afford it and be like, "Hey,
exactly,
I really want to play soccer." They cut. Yeah.
I think
they cut the soccer team. Can you send me to the same school as Sebastian?
I know her mom was a girls' soccer team at that school.
Maybe, or maybe maybe the girls' soccer team isn't good.
Yeah.
Or like good enough for her to try to get a scholarship. Yeah.
And her mom was
and her mom was not into her playing soccer. Her mom was into her being a debutante. Which, FYI, you can do both. You can do both. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a mini one, but we don't have a point system on this podcast, but I will still minus 7 million gajillion points for her wearing her hair down multiple times while she's playing soccer at the end.
Oh my god.
Even at the beginning, she just has like a tiny headband on. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, have you watched girls with long hair play soccer? They usually have their hair in like a heavy duty headband, like even though they're skinny ones, like they're the good strong headband and a tight ponytail. Like it's like
there's a point of the finale of the movie, like the big game, the end of the big game where she's playing as a girl and everything is amazing. She cannot see the soccer ball because her hair is in her face. I'm like, that there's no way that person who cares about soccer that much would do that.
No, exactly.
It's so frustrating to me. And I'm like, and it's so many, like they could have just fixed it. And she could have just had a hair elastic. No one would have cared. But also all of her friends and everybody was down there. And when they let
somebody would have had a hair
to let her play. Yeah. Just, ugh.
At least a headband or something. Like, because otherwise when you turn fast, when you're running and like trying to find the ball, your hair gets in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We have lots of rants about people doing inappropriate things like surgery with their hair down.
Yeah. This one is definitely
extra bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I think we were talking to our friend, who went to school in the States about high school schedules and things, but she went to a Catholic school, so things were a bit different for her anyway. But like, I just don't understand the school schedules in America, and they are practicing 2 weeks. So at her first school, they are practicing soccer, all of them, 2 weeks before school starts, and they are saying that in 2 weeks they have a big soccer game. So at the beginning of school, they have a big soccer game. Then she goes to Illyria, and they're also practicing soccer, but they are also already in school. Which I know, like, public versus private, but...
Public-private, I don't think of soccer as a fall sport, so it wasn't the practicing before school, because, so ours, like, at my school, which, like, barely had a football team, our football team started practicing before the school year started, because the game, like, because it was such a short season, so the games had to start really early. And also I watched Friday Night Lights, the TV show, and they always would start in the summer.
Okay.
So like the starting before, but yeah, soccer's like a spring sport, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't know. Sports.
But like there's no way that schools that fancy wouldn't have football teams.
Exactly. Yeah. It was weird. Sports is weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Sports is weird. Okay, should we talk about tampons?
Yeah,
let's talk a whole bunch about tampons.
Tampons. So it's very funny. Ha 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 ha. It's the exact same
Boys
joke
are grossed
as
out by
Sex and the
tampons.
City.
Yeah.
But honestly, as a person who has 3 nurse aunts, first aid people actually do bring pads with them to things because they are really good at absorbing blood. That's their job. And so when you are in a pinch, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
But also, she just needed her tampons for her completely normal, regular reason. And maybe, I know this was 16 years ago, and we're slightly better now, but like maybe tampons could be not a punchline.
I think the whole thing of like boys being grossed out by tampons, like I'm over it. It really doesn't need to be a thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But also, like, there's reasons for boys to have tampons too. One could be that boys can have uteruses.
Yep.
Because trans people exist. And, you know, like, if you have women in your life, it's a nice thing to do to have tampons around for emergencies. Like, maybe not in your backpack, but, like, I don't know. Would be a nice thing to do. Or at the very least, a garbage can in your bathroom. Goodness.
Yeah, oh my god.
But yeah, like, or also just, like, you know, maybe they were in there from, like, carrying them around for his girlfriend, or, you know, who knows? So many reasons.
So many reasons.
But yeah, they don't need to be a punchline, and it's definitely the beginning of this movie. Basically, the premise of the majority of the gender comedy in this movie is that trans people are not a thing. Like, there's no such thing as being trans.
Correct.
Yeah. And so, like, I would think that, like, watching this as someone who was trans, like a trans boy, would be really weird and upsetting, like, to see the things that you're struggling with. I mean, I'm obviously not trans and don't know any trans boys, but, like, seeing the things that you're struggling with, that you, like, you want to go to a boys' school because you are a boy, and then this is what happens to somebody there.
They have completely open showers, and so she can't have a shower, which is hilarious. And then also only a problem at the very beginning, and then I don't really understand how she solved that problem. But again, like, that's if you are a trans boy, like, that's a problem. They do show her wrapping her chest, which is, I don't know enough about wraps, but I'm pretty sure it's not a great situation.
It's not recommended. Like, it can be really dangerous and like cause lots of medical problems, like wrapping with like bandages rather than a proper binder.
Also, like, I don't know what she did while she was playing soccer, because that would have been super uncomfortable.
Oh, so uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, because then, like, aside from the trans erasure and the gay panic, which is just a, like, baked in joke because it's 2006, the cliches and the toxic masculinity and the just, like, the, like, such binary, like, gender aside binary, it's cliches of, like, what you have to do in order to be a man or to be a lady. It's rough.
Yeah. So basically, she pulls, like, tries to pull off being a dude by, like, basically being a really gross, like, ladies' man. I use that in disgusting quotes. And then
they're like, "Yeah, you're super weird. Cool," even though we're 17, and you're now implying that you've been with a bunch of women. Or girls, high school students, always are age appropriate. When the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, cries and has cried in the past, and it's hilarious to the people, and then also at the end is is supposed to be hilarious to us because he's upset that he lost his soccer game and he's a poor loser. I'm not going to say that he's not, but we're supposed to laugh at him for crying.
Yeah, crying isn't feminine. Having emotions isn't feminine.
Yeah.
It's human.
And the biggest thing with when Viola is Viola and she's supposed to be going to this debutante stuff, and they're all like, this is how you be a lady and blah blah blah, and it's very reminiscent of like League of Their Own kind of stuff. But and like some of it is fine. Like, yeah, she chews like an weirdo, which is like for a joke, and that's fine. But otherwise, she's perfectly fine. She has no problems wearing dresses because that's a thing, and all of this stuff. And she also, as Viola, is incredibly comfortable in her skin. Like, she knows what she is. She knows what she wants. She's feminine enough for whatever. Like, she feels comfortable as a woman. She feels comfortable as playing Sebastian. Like, she has no issues with her body and herself. And then everyone's telling her that she's wrong, even when she's a girl and they want her to be more of a girl. Like, it's just...
Yeah, like, eating in a messy way is, like, rude, but it's not, like, feminine or masculine. It's just kind of gross.
Yeah, exactly. And then and that was, like, as a joke, because she was also mad at the other girl at that point. But I'm like, everything else, I'm like, she's whatever. She showed up to the carnival, like, her mom asked, she did all this stuff. She's just a girl, being a girl.
Yeah, and, like, focused on more than, like, she's focused on what her body can do, not what it looks like.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Yep. Speaking of the carnival, kissing booths are disgusting and should be outlawed, especially ones involving children.
I know. It's so gross. And just...
Yeah. Like, do a dunk tank like normal people.
I know. I'm like, and watching this before COVID, I was like, these are gross. And now I'm like, oh, no. This is how you get COVID and monkeypox. And all sorts of other things.
Herpes and who knows what.
Yeah. And then also, she's there working for her mom, like doing a favor to her mom. And her ex-boyfriend, who she's broken up with multiple times, then shows up to the kissing booth where she's working and gets mad at her for doing this job. Yeah.
Also, like, they broke up. You have no say who she kisses. She can kiss whoever she wants. Also, when you're together, she can kiss whoever she wants.
And also, she's doing this...
You could break up with her.
Yeah, she's doing this as a favor to her mom. It's not her fault that she has to work at this kissing booth. So, like, just chill out a bit. But he has a lot of problems anyway.
Yeah, but like, it's... Well, yeah. Yeah, no, he is a bad high school boyfriend. She at least does end up with, like, a decent high school boyfriend at the end. Like, I think he's pretty good. I don't know, like, Channing Tatum's way too old to be playing.
But I think he's pretty good. Like, there's definitely, like, it's hard to say because, like, gay panic is there, but that's just how it's written. But otherwise, he's pretty decent about things.
Yeah, like, I think, like, he's miffed or, like, upset because she was lying to him.
Of course.
But not, like, he's not, like...
Was attracted to a man? Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I think that's the biggest thing at the end, the speech that they gave each other, which is, like, very corny and full of, like, undercurrent puns about how he was attracted. So it's, like, the writers are trying to make gay panic, but he's, like, not concerned. He's like, I miss my roommate, and he was really cool, and I definitely kind of had feelings for him. And now he turned it out to be a woman, so I feel better about that. Yeah.
He is definitely like, like, I enjoyed spending time with you as my roommate, and now that you are a girl, I can also realize that I can be sexually attracted to you.
Well, like, he was also attracted to her as a girl when he met her as a girl.
Exactly. So. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like I enjoyed spending time with my roommate, who I thought was a dude and so therefore wasn't attracted to, and then I was attracted to you as a woman, so, like, combining, like, the personality that I enjoyed.
This works really nice for me.
Yeah. He's like, sweet, score. Best of both worlds. And, like, I am glad that she got to play on the boys' soccer team as a girl
we talk about this entire thing. And then the soccer coach at the end, he's like, the bad soccer coach is like, girls can't play this game. And then he's like, no, we don't discriminate here on gender. And I'm like, well, it's 2006, so if we asked you would say that there was 2 genders, but at least you're saying that, so that's something.
Yeah, giving it a shot. And so, you know, like, maybe, so she can, like, legitimately go to that school and legitimately play on the soccer team, not the boys' soccer team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. And he was like, he like gave her a little wink, and he knows what she can do because he's been her soccer coach for these 2 weeks and has seen her improve and like practice really hard. So he's like, I have a good soccer player. Why would I take them off of the field?
Exactly. Although, as we've, you know, like, if you pay attention to the news and like trans girls wanting to play sports with other girls, that has become a whole
thing,
disgusting thing that we don't really want to get into. But I mean, they don't really touch on that in this because, like, she's a girl, so therefore she's weaker, so then she can play with boys without it being like an unfair advantage. I say this not believing any of it.
But then she also wins the game, so whatever.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right. Tropes. So we touched briefly on the mom and who's hilarious, and then also David Cross as the principal, who's amazing, and oh my god,
improv like all of his lines. Like,
he's
have
so
a great
funny.
apple and sandwich, and
yes,
and just so many things. So I think this is the thing that, like, we kind of saw a bit in High School Musical, but we haven't really done a lot of other high school ones yet. Of the adults being funny, but kind of like ditzy or like just not present, so you can get away with all sorts of things.
But like that's such a thing. That's more of like a YA trope than a rom-com trope. But just definitely, like, as we do more YA rom-coms, we will definitely see more of this for sure. Because like, if your parents are there and like encouraging you to like talk about your feelings and you know, not sneak out of the house at 2 a.m, causes plot problems.
And like this one of like, I'm gonna go stay at Dad's because Monique will be there hanging out with Sebastian, even though Sebastian is supposed to be in school right now, so why would he be at Dad's anyway? And then like none of them, they're just like, you can get to school by yourself. I don't care that you're going to live at the school and I'll never see you.
Yeah, I know, it was weird, and maybe because it's like a, you know, fancy prep school, but like they were so close to the school, but he lived in the dorms. I don't know. Seems weird. Most schools have day students.
It's school, the crazy and like the beginning where like it's just like such a standard, more maybe like high school television show of like, oh look, there's a marching band in the hallway, and this guy's doing science in the hallway, and this guy, they're playing ping pong in the hallway, and just like
high schoolers are weird.
Things, and then there also is some exciting hazing and Yep.
The other one, which is very Shakespearean, and then from the origin of like Shakespeare into rom-coms, is the protagonist love interest like striking a deal or a bet or something. We'll definitely that will definitely continue, I am sure.
There's another cat fight, which at least they don't, or they're not like cat fight, but 3 women just have like an all-out brawl in a bathroom for literally just humor reasons. Humor in quotation marks, like just
and then it kind of is like adjacent to the like panicked running through the airport or driving through traffic, but the love interest coming at the last minute to like in this case it's to forgive her, and rather than to like admit his love. I mean, it's both, but like
this one is forgive, but we can definitely fill that in with admitting their love or saying that they've
apologizing
job or whatever.
For sure.
The giant misunderstanding, capital G, capital M.
Yes. Yep. So many tropes that we have already seen, and we'll see some more.
So this Bechdel test pass. Hooray!
Yeah.
It can get ishy if we're looking at her when she's playing Sebastian, but she also does pass because she talks about soccer a lot at the beginning. And at the beginning, when she's with her friends, they're all talking about soccer, and they're also talking about their goals about soccer. Of like, I want to go to this school, and I want to do this, and this is my goal, is to play soccer. So I give this a A-.
Yeah,
for the
Bechdel
pretty good.
test. Pretty good. Okay, do you have a hot take that you'd like to
share? My hot take is like something similar, like a question which I've been asking for my entire adult life, is why, like, I understand now, but like, what is with Shakespeare and cross-dressing? But the hot take of that is maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. Modernize them. Anyway. Just...
or like maybe there's a better way to do it. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know what it is either.
Like a more inclusive way to do,
like, I think
gender
a lot
bending.
Yeah, a lot of the humor that Shakespeare got from cross-dressing, first of all, comes from something we'll talk about in a couple of episodes, of the fact that it's a guy playing a girl who's then playing a guy, because there was no female actors, but also it's just funny at that point.
Yeah.
Because that's what was funny, and also I think probably because of costumes and stuff like that, watching Twelfth Night as a play, like can be funny as well, like with their their hilarious costumes or whatever.
And I mean, other than cross-dressing, there's also a ton of mistaken identity of in all Shakespeare.
Yeah, of course,
because I think it's like it's quite a it's a very play thing, because it's quite a visual joke, because like you can make it obvious to the audience because it's like a the same character, but so like it plays well visually, which I think was important in Shakespearean plays and plays. So
I think but it just is now, like, watching this with a 2022 lens on, I'm like, it's not funny anymore because it erases everything but two genders, and it just becomes a problem. And again, like as you were saying before, like potentially triggering for some people, and highlights a lot of problems that people have,
and makes it seem like it's okay to poke fun at somebody wearing clothes that don't match their stereotypical gender presentation, like gender, like what you think is their gender presentation. So like a man wearing a dress, like, why is that funny? Men can wear dresses because it's just clothes.
Exactly. And like finding humor in their situation of like, she can't have a shower. And or whatever. And also, like, just because you see somebody who has like a stereotypical masculine shaped face doesn't mean that they identify or that they are male. Like, people are at all different. Like, also, it's not a gender binary. Like, the whole thing. Okay. My hot take is, Channing Tatum is way too old to play a high schooler. I think he was like in his late 20s in this. But it also makes me feel less icky to find him attractive. I agree.
So
he also was training for Step Up while he was filming this in Vancouver, which means that he then went to go play another high schooler right after this.
Yep. Oh, good times. Okay. Let's make a pie chart. Our favorite. Okay. We've got 5 entries in our pie chart this week. Montages. There's a lot of montages, but there's not as many montages as, say, or the montages aren't as, like, key to the plot.
No, there's a lot
like Dirty Dancing.
There's a lot of soccer playing montages, which is fair, and like a lot of her running around changing outfit montages.
Yes. Actually, the changing outfit montage is pretty key and pretty funny. Maybe like 30? 30% montages. Gouda? There's too many jokes about Gouda in this movie. I think we'll call it like a solid 5%.
I would say 5. Just okay. Like, it's one of my favorite lines, and then also the wheel of Gouda at the end is so big.
Yes, so big, but realistic. That's how big it is. Vancouver, It's pretty small because I think if you weren't like really familiar with Vancouver, I don't think you would know it was Vancouver.
Yeah.
I don't know, like another 10 or 15?
Yeah, let's say 10.
Okay. And then Swooning Over Channing Tatum.
It was a lot.
Like 20?
Yeah.
And then our final entry, which will get 50,
I think
65,
35?
35%. Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
35% random Shakespearean mentions.
Yeah. So there's obviously Twelfth Night, which Viola, Sebastian, Illyria, the creepy dude, Spider.
Like the bad guy-ish. His spider is named after the character that he's based on because it's a really weird name. Yeah, so like the junior league that she goes to for a debutante is the Stratford Junior League. For Stratford Avon.
The pizza place is Cesario's, which I don't know if that's 12th Night or something else. The little speech thing that Channing gives at the soccer game about greatness.
It's just Cesario. Yeah, Cesario in the play, Viola doesn't impersonate her brother in the play. She just impersonates another dude named Cesario. Yeah, so to recap our pie chart from largest to smallest, we've got 30% montages, 35% random Shakespearean mentions, 20% Swooning Over Channing Tatum, 10% Vancouver, and 5% Gouda.
Cheese and Channing Tatum.
Good combo.
It's not a bad movie to look at.
Indeed. What's next for these two kooky kids?
Well, I don't know what grade they're supposed to be in.
They're in grade 12 because they were talking about getting scholarships and getting scouted for college teams. So I'm pretty sure they're in grade 12.
Okay, so I think they'll make it through grade 12.
Yeah, I don't think, unless they... Actually, no, it's probably even worse if they ended up at the same college. But yeah, no, I think like they're a really good high school boyfriend-girlfriend. It'll be great. Like, I think they'll amicably break up and it'll be fine.
Well, because, like she was talking at the beginning, which is talking about her goals. She's talking about going to Carolina. I don't know which one. And I don't know where this is supposed to be based, but I feel like it's supposed to be on the West Coast, even though that's just my Vancouver bias showing.
The Junior League stuff made me think it was, like, New England-y.
Okay, so maybe East Coast, but still higher, like New England.
Like north,
is far away from Carolina. So there's that, and then he doesn't say anything about what he wants to do aside, I assume, play soccer, but I'm sure he has more options because he's a dude. Eye rolls.
Yeah, well, in terms of like getting
a soccer scholarship.
Yeah, for sure. But I can't see them like sticking it out through college.
No, and I think like we don't actually see them together as a couple except for the montage at the end where they're not doing very well playing soccer. But her entire goal was just about soccer, so I feel that she will remain to prioritize that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that doesn't seem to have changed. So, yeah, no, I think like her goals in life are to play soccer while she can, and then go from there. Yeah. Yeah. So, good job. Okay, so next up, we're taking a momentary break from the cross-dressing, but don't worry, it'll be back. Yeah, Shakespeare.
And speaking of random Shakespearean mentions, and also speaking of one of the best movies of all time.
Yes.
In my opinion, we'll be back with, obviously, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Woo. Yeah. So yeah, that brings us to the end. You can rate or review us wherever you get your podcast, and please do, because we're kind of new.
You can find us on social at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and Charts and Hearts on Twitter, and on our website, chartsandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms and tropes for us to add to the list.
If you want to hear more about this month's theme, take a listen to our Patreon episode coming soon for a Shakespearean adaptation that's not really a rom-com, definitely not a com. The new West Side Story will be on our Patreon coming up soon, and you can find us at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub. Yeah. It's going to be a fun one. And in the meantime,
Our new outro is how we're still working on doing a new outro. But yay, and bye.
See you next time.